Hello, Leslie. Hello, Dr. Ash. Nice to see you today.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Mike. Good
Hello.
morning.
And we will see whether someone else will join, but we will start right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next Wasteless Word Talks, in the power of touch. I was ahead of time today. So, to the power of touch, in which we write on the back of a language towards wasteless word. And we do it with one term. And today it's rather special, Leslie and Dr. Ash, because the word which was chosen does not exist in English language. So instead, I choose a similar and will explain the word later. And the similar term is to wait. And let us start the same way as we did it usually. So I have you on the top of the screen, Leslie. So I will start with you. So when you heard the term to wait for the first time today, what came to your mind, please?
Well, good morning. Good one. One of the hardest things in my life to learn is patience because that's not my nature. My nature as a fire sign, a Sagittarius, is the archer. So I usually aim, fire, and then get ready. Or I fire before I get ready, right? You're supposed to do ready, aim, fire. So, one of the biggest aspirations I have, which is easy to see how it's changed over the years, to exercise patience. It gives me objectivity, allows me to think rather than reacting. So, wait is a perfect word for me because that's what I've been working on. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Leslie. And Dr. Ash, I would like to ask you the same question. So, when you heard that we will talk about the term to wait, what came first to your mind, please?
Well, I agree with what Leslie has said, Michael. Wait is a powerful word in the sense that it's difficult to wait these days. It's much better in the West, as I've seen, where people have that kind of patience. But here in this part of Asia, I think it's the same in Africa and quite a few undeveloped countries also. People can't wait at all. They seem to see it as something as though they might miss out their dinner or their bus or I don't know what. But whether it's waiting for a bus or for results, waiting for a message or waiting for dreams to come true, I don't know. But a wait is very frustrating to most people, unlike me. I am impatient, all right. Impatient, especially if things are not done on time. Time is a major factor for me. And as a perfectionist, too, um, it requires a lot of patience to be waiting for someone who's given you a special time and you can't see that person at that particular time. So I have had many interviews taken on time. And therefore, if somebody keeps me waiting, it gives me a spirit of hopelessness. And therefore, like in my daily life, a wait is somehow very difficult for me to be able to adhere to as such. Now, a student may wait for exam results, a traveler waits for a train, and a child waits for a special day like a birthday. My birthdays were always celebrated. And being the youngest in my family, and therefore, I used to find it very difficult to wait for my birthday to come because those were the happiest moments of my life. My birthday was celebrated with a lot of gusto as compared to my other brothers, since I was known as the baby of the family. And therefore, the waiting for my birthday seemed impossible. And I used to remind my brother, who was elder to me, and the others also, turn by turn, my mother also, okay, when does the 6th of July come? Is it very far? Is this July? Is it June? You see, so it depends upon your inner feelings, should I say, that sense of anticipation until the final moment arrives and makes it more meaningful in life as such. So waiting is always not easy. Sometimes it feels slow and uncomfortable, and more especially, should I say, when people wait for something very important, such as good news, maybe a job opportunity, so far as we are concerned in the corporate world, or say most of us have gone down with an illness, so we're waiting for recovery from illness. So the uncertainty can make time feel longer. In these moments, patience becomes a valuable quality. Patience helps people stay calm and hopeful while time appears to move forward. Now, having said that, to conclude, I would say that waiting should not be connected with nothing, doing nothing. In other words, like waiting for opportunities should be there. It should be absolutely appropriate for people to learn to be patient and prepare themselves by learning new skills. Like today, the world is virtually at a standstill, as we all know. I wouldn't like to go into that any further. And therefore, this is the time when we can wait patiently and try and improve our knowledge and strengthen our determination in other areas where we may feel more productive rather than just being passive. So it's an unavoidable part of life. Thank you very much, Michael, for
Thank
your
you very
patience.
much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ash. Usi, the same question for you. So the term today is to wait. In fact, the term is a little different, but I will explain after the first round. So when you heard for the first time the term to wait, what came first to your mind, please?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Michael, for this opportunity. For me, weight refers to the force of gravity pulling on any object. On the other hand, weight means the value or significance of the touch. Weight does not refer to physical heaviness. It refers to any importance, impact, or emotional strings that a human touch carries. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Usi. And Charito, so the term today is to wait. In fact, it's different, but I will explain right after you. So when you heard for the first time that we will speak about the term to wait, what came first to your mind, please?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm late because I'm very far away from home. I'm traveling. So I'm quite, at first when I listened to you, I thought it's waiting. It's an active progressing verb or action. Or to wait, you also have to do action in that. Because for me, to wait speaks of many things. If you say to wait, then something has to be waited upon. There is a starting point to start with. So if I'm going to sit here because I'm waiting for my turn, then it's something like, oh, you have to wait because it's not your time yet. So at that point in time, at the start, going to the next time, which you want to happen, maybe later on, tomorrow, in the future, or there's something that will occur in accordance to what your wishes, or the wishes of everybody around you, or the group who would like you to wait. So when we are looking at the war, for example, everybody is to to trying to would like that the war will stop. So what can we do? Some of us will just wait at the by side. So we sit down and pray in order to wait for what's happening next because it's beyond our control, right? So it's like there's a fine line between waiting, the actual waiting, and the word which you are being asked to wait for something. Because there is a beginning, there's a starting point of that something why you are waiting and why one has to take your time to wait for something to happen that we don't know. It could be something that we can see, or it could be something that is yet to come, cannot be seen. It's something like, well, we're here on earth, living our lives. Of course, as we do our daily thing, it's something like, I mean, oh, I have to wait for my time when I go, when God calls me to his kingdom. And that is waiting to wait for something. You don't know when will happen. So there's a time when you say to wait, well, there's an attribute, something like there's patience for you to deal with it. But there's from that beginning, from that starting point to that time, when you have to get what you are about to wait for, then for me, that's it. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, as I mentioned during the conversation, the original term, it was in Czech. It was introduced by Jane, the love of my life. And the term was dočkat se. And waiting sounds in Czech čekat. Dočkat se, I was looking for this term in English, and I realized there is no such a term. Then I check German, and again, German language does not have this term. Then I check Latin, I check even Chinese. And none of the languages have the term dočkat se, but I will explain the term in English. I don't know whether it's proverb or saying. It says, whoever waits will get what they deserve. But in Czech language, we have this sentence put in one word. The ending of waiting with the result which you expected. And this is dočkat se. And it is, I know it's a strange question, but you know me, I put only strange question. So I will start with you, Leslie. Why do you think that such a term, which other languages needs the whole sentence to explain, exists probably in just one language in the world?
Well, that is interesting. What is it in German? Because we could look at the root of the word. I do understand German. Why is that so? Well, these are all labels. And the expression, the sentence that you have is poetic. It has a message. But you'll notice that in our conversation, the word wait had numerous different applications. But the quote that you, or the sentence that you brought up, is one perspective. And so that is a label. But let me ask you, Michael. So when you are waiting for Jane to come downstairs to go out to dinner, What is that? What is that? Because she is not down yet, right? You're in the car or you're on the front stoop, and she's supposed to come down and you're waiting for her. So tell me in English or even in Czech how you would phrase that. That's what I want to hear from you. Um, you know, we have a lot of idiomatics and so yeah. So I want to hear from you as you wait for her. By the way, I feel like she's the fifth wheel here. she's she's coming up with her words. She's got you in love. But here's the thing: how would you verbalize that? I'm waiting for Jane to come down so we can go out to dinner. Fair enough?
Yes, for me, that's emotion. And waiting, the emotion of waiting, but the moment when she show up in the door is this, I finally see her. Is this DOČKAT say, I finally get her. I finally can be with her. This is the explanation, the difference between DOČKAT and checkup. But for me, the waiting is expressed as an emotion, especially if waiting.
Well, then let me. That's excellent. But there's really two things going on here in everybody, because the emotion of will she be late? What if something is wrong? We have reservations at a certain time, and like Dr. Ash, I'm very punctual. So this is fear of missing out. This is an emotional reaction. When she arrives, that is not emotion. That is a feeling. And there is a difference, a distinction between what you described upon arrival and what you may be thinking, which would be the result of your own fears. But it's not that you're thinking it intentionally, but that is emotion, and it drives down your cellular vibration. So as you're thinking that, if that's what you're thinking, and many people will think that, they begin to feel lousy. And this is how human beings deal with the subconscious programming, which is not thinking, but it is reactive. So you could be thinking that. There's two different things happening. So as you're waiting for her, if in your mind you're concerned or you have a worry, fear that we might be late or something delayed her, what is that then if her arrival is the feeling of happiness, a very high cellular vibration? You'll skip down the road, but there's something else going on automatically all the time. So how would you describe that piece of waiting, the other side, let's just say the opposite cellular vibration? The distinction is when she arrives, it's a gentle, beautiful, high vibrational feeling. However, as you wait, as most people become impatient, then they have a low vibration and they get emotional and they're afraid that they've missed something or they did something wrong. Okay, back to you.
That was well described, including the role of Jane in my life and in these discussions. Unfortunately, she does not speak English, so that's the only disadvantage. But Dr. Ash, I and all of you, I wrote the Czech term in the chat, so you can try to translate it into your language. But do you understand after my explanation?
Wait.
Yes.
Excuse me. I want to hear from you. I want to know in Czech what you call that period, which we call waiting, when impatience rears its ugly head. So we know what you call it, and you have a phrase for the arrival. What is your phrase or the word that covers this impatience, this annoyance, this disappointment potentially.
I understand. So it has generally very similar core, the term. I spoke about the final stage as dočkat se, but the word which you ask is čekání. So it's čekání, it's waiting. Really, čekání is waiting in English. But then the final point is dočkat se.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And right now, back to you, Dr. Ash. So, do you?
Sorry, Michael. Before Dr.
Yes. Sorry, yes.
I did a mistake when we talk about weight. So the WAIT is okay. For me, wait refer to moment of pause, patient, or rightness before human contacts or connection occur. Sorry for fast explanation.
Do not worry, Jussi, because I like you generally use the term power of touch in the explanation in the original, and because this is exactly, it's just the emotional touch. And Dr. Ash, coming back to you, so do you see right now, or the same question as I asked Leslie, why do you think that such a term, which I wrote, it's just in one language and the others need the whole sentence?
I think Leslie explained it very well. You see, like it's a question of going back in history, where you will find that certain people who lived in certain areas pronounced words very differently from others. Now, in England, I was taught to open my mouth and speak. A kindergarten teacher actually put a pencil into my mouth and said, "Don't mumble, speak with your mouth open." And she put a pencil in my mouth and she said, "Now speak." And I could just waffle, as we say. And therefore, I learned from that time onwards that the English is spoken, very differently from other languages. It's because people are trying harder, probably, to open their mouths and speak instead of being lazy as such. So some languages change because of maybe even weather conditions or emotional conditions or thought processes, something that triggers the brain in that particular area very differently. For example, the word oof, I'm tired, So there's a connection. And therefore, like a language may change. It may be lengthier, it may be shorter. It could be an easy word, it could be very difficult for somebody else to understand. But in today's world, it's so easy. You just Google the word. Now, there are certain words that you might speak in the Czech language, Michael, which I might convert differently and look up, and the word wait might sound like a crime, you see. So it really depends upon one's thinking as to, I would really tie it with emotional intelligence also at the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ash. Charito, all of us, we explained the waiting, waiting is against all who just want to do something, but the final moment when it really arrives, the moment when you make the deal, for example, in the real estate, or when the loved one give you the first kiss. It's something what I think can hardly be described by word. And why do you think so many people hate waiting for the right moment? And you have to unmute yourself, Charito. Yes.
Yeah. So you said that why is it that some people hate waiting? Of
Yes. Why?
course,
Yes.
because Michael, for me, waiting is of different forms. When you wait physically for something to come, like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you're in a place where there are many flies and everything. I mean, the environment is not ideal. The environment is not okay with you. So you hate it, right? But if you're waiting in a place which is very nice, so cool, and all that, then the waiting is good. So I think when you say waiting, it has to do with something also. What are you waiting for? Okay, if I'm waiting for the graces of God, and that's waiting, Michael, for me, I pray, of course, but I'm not inconvenient with the waiting. In fact, I enjoyed it because I like praying. Now, when you say waiting for love to come, what do? You sit down at home, you go around, make friends, and everything. But at the end of the day, I believe that your partner is given to you by God. Whether you wait for her or not, she will come to you, and things will go its own way. The world evolves, and then each of you will find each other. So when you say, why is it that some people hate waiting? Maybe because it's not in accordance to I mean, the physical ones. They're emotional. If they're impatient, if they think they are already, the apprehension is so high, the discouragement is so high, the thought that it might not arrive or she may not come, the thought that she may not accept me or my boyfriend will do this and that, that will make the waiting unpleasant, right? So I don't think it has to be considered a very important part of it, because to each person, the waiting or the non-waiting, the arrival or the non-arrival depends on her personality, on her emotion, and the values that she gives to herself and to the people around her. So, what me? It depends. Sometimes, like, I'm a consultant, so I have people under me. If I'll say our meeting is at 6 o'clock or 7, and then you come at 9, of course, I don't wait for them long. If it's I say 6, 15 minutes before 6, I'll be there. And I am there. I am your consultant. I am the leader. And you are only following me. And then you come at 7 o'clock. I mean, that's my point. So the circumstances that waiting is it giving you a negative toll, negative emotional, whatever feeling is there, because you are not used to it? I'm a disciplined person when it comes to that. So waiting for me speaks of timing, discipline, and commitment. So I think I'll be unhappy about waiting, or so impatient, or I don't like waiting, if those things that I considered my standards in my waiting are not met. So back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito, for the explanation. Usi, let me come to you. Uh, do you think, following what Charito just explained, do you think that waiting can be a positive feeling as well?
Yes, Michael. Waiting is also positive because if you want to do something good, you do not need it to be earlier. You need it waiting. Always, many good things become by waiting. Some people feeling that when they waiting, they must wait without doing something meaningful. They may feel that their time is being lost. But this is not true. Actually, if you wait for something good, I think something good will happen for it is time. For example, in our belief, Muslim, Christian, Jews, they hear, they pray, but they waiting word from the God. So they need time. After dying, they believe they will be in heaven. So waiting is possible, is a positive. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Usi. Leslie, let me come to you because I would like to ask you whether do you think that waiting add or deduct the value?
I'm not sure. Ask me that question another way, or ask it again. I'm not sure what you mean.
All right. Do you think that waiting for something is adding value to the something what you are waiting for?
It can, yes, absolutely. You know, when I first began my book, Errata, it was 25 years ago. And I only wrote the outline because it was that's all I could do. Something told me that I think I wasn't ready to write the book, but I had the framework. So the waiting was high value because the caliber and the depth of the work required 25 years of my learning to write it. So I think that's a good example where waiting actually brings value. It may not feel like it in the moment. I actually didn't think of it at all for 25 years. And one day I got the whisper from God, the universe, and the idea popped into my mind. Now is the time. So to answer your yes, I think it is possible on reflection. You know, that was very high value for the success of the book. During the time, let's say that I didn't let it go and I thought about it all the time, it would detract from what I was doing. So, yes, to answer your question.
Thank you very much, Leslie. To all, we have 6 minutes left. So, Dr. Ash, do you remember a moment when the end of waiting changed your life?
Yes. They say patience is a virtue, and therefore, more often than not, I have decided to wait for opportunities to come before me. So it's a very different version of the word wait, in the sense that if you are patient enough, then I have been presented with tremendous opportunities in my life. Yes, I believe in prayer, and I have seen many miracles in my life. So those opportunities have always been presented in different forms. Those opportunities have come by waiting alone. And by myself, should I say, before I got married, before I decided to settle down, I have done everything, should I say, awaiting an opportunity to come before me. And that is part of life. I think one should also look at it very carefully from that point of view. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ash. Charito, I know that many people who are asking you for the service for the work you do, so looking for a plot of land, looking for a property, for example, and so on, are waiting. and the moment when you call them, do you feel their emotion when you find finally what they are looking for?
That's quite unclear to me, Michael. What do you mean? They are?
Whether whether you can feel their emotion when you find something for them, what they have been looking for a long time and waiting for a long time. And you are the one who bring the good news.
Yes, of course. The emotion is high, especially when all the parameters, their parameters, are met. When they find everything that I gave them fits them to a T. So the emotions are high. They are so into it, like even the family, because usually I met the parents, right? And then they bring along everybody in the family because they're, euphoric. Especially those who are first time buyers of houses. It's their first time to own that property. So yes, the feeling is so high. You can feel it, even the way they talk. They're so up to date with all their documents. The body would tell. I mean, it shows there. So I, as a seller, as a broker, I also feel elated, happy, and inspired because I've given one of the three ideals, the three necessities in life for my uh for another person, for another family, because the three basic necessities are food, lodging, or the shelter, and the clothing, right? So when you offer and they find it, and you find it, and they are satisfied with it, wow, everybody's happy, Michael, and we can feel it and we show it back to you.
Thank you very much, Charito. And thank you all because it was once again so interesting. We are close to the end. We have 2.5 minutes. And I know what Dr. Ash and Leslie said at the beginning, that every language is different and it can differ from location to location. This is why I'm so happy that during the Power of Touch event, so as Wasteless Words event, of course, and during all the work related to your work and Industry 5.0 as well, we haven't chosen one of the existing languages. We have chosen the language of efficiency. We are speaking through our heart to the heart of others. And I think that coming back to the question Leslie asked me when I saw Jane arriving on the top of the stairs, that's the moment when the heart start to speak. Not one, but two at the moment. And they become one. And I think this is exactly what you so nicely described in today's event. Because yes, it's hard to wait, but the reward after waiting, when we did not just wait with our hands doing nothing, the reward is so powerful as the one which was described by Charito, and so close to the power of touch described by Jose and Dr. Ash. So thank you very much for your time. And let me wish you have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, and turn all waiting into great results. Thank you, and see you next week. Probably there will be no power of touch, but I will inform you ahead. I will have another meeting. But thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye,
Bye-bye. God bless
everybody.
you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Felicity, Dr. Ash.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.